I've got to clear something up that I see founders confuse constantly. Grants are not just for nonprofits. They're not impossible to win, and they're not charity. The organizations giving them out have very specific reasons for doing it. And most founders either ignore grants completely or go about them completely wrong. So here are 10 things about grants I bet you didn't know, and number 9 will absolutely shock you. Let's dive in. Number 1, about 20% of grants have application fees. Not all of them are free to apply for, and that's okay. Some have small admin or platform fees attached, and it's because those fees exist to cover the cost of running the platform or reviewing applications and just managing the tech side of the process. They're not trying to profit off of you. The full grant amount still goes to the winner. The fee just keeps the lights on for the people administering it. The majority of grantors running an opportunity don't do this as their full-time job, and many volunteer to support the process. So don't automatically skip them. Just do the math. $50 to apply for a $10,000 opportunity, probably worth it. And number 2, organizations aren't just giving money away. A lot of founders walk into grants thinking it's charity, and it's not. Companies and organizations do grants for a very real reason. It's marketing, PR, brand alignment, ecosystem building, and corporate grants especially are often just marketing budgets with a mission statement attached. They need to show their customers, their board, and the public that they're investing in communities and causes that matter. Once you understand why they're giving the money, you can position your story to match what they actually care about. 3 is winning a grant is also a marketing move. Founders only think about the check, but winning a grant actually means a ton of potential press coverage, a feature on their website, social proof, credibility. Organization wants to shout their winners from the rooftops because it validates their program and mission and builds their brand. You get the money and the visibility. Sometimes the exposure also opens doors that the cash never would. For example, I helped a founder win $50,000 from Progressive, the insurance company. That cash was amazing, but what was even more impactful than $50K was being featured on Progressive.com. The millions of people viewing her and her brand each day was priceless. She couldn't put $50K towards that kind of PR even if she wanted to. And number 4 is for-profit businesses qualify too. This is the one that stops most founders before they start. They count themselves out. They assume grants are only for nonprofits and then move on. But a huge number of grants exist specifically for profit companies only, like multi-millions of dollars worth of corporate grants, innovation grants, small business grants, local economic development grants. The organizations behind them want to fund the business that creates jobs. It drives economic activity and does solve some real problems. 5 is they're not just picking the most successful or even needy business. This really surprises people because grantors aren't just looking for the most impressive pitch or the highest revenue or even the one that's trying to cure cancer or solve world hunger. They're asking 2 questions. Who's going to do the most right by the money, and who's actually going to follow through what they say they're going to do? They're investing in potential and alignment, not just the clout for it. And you want to lead with impact and how the grant moves your mission forward. So don't be intimidated by potentially going up against other companies claiming they're changing the world. There are grants for everything from consulting businesses to tech to healthcare to consumer and more. And number 6 is corporate grants can move fast. Government grants won't. Corporate grants pay in as little as a week to a month. I know that because I won 24 in 6 figures worth myself. They have dedicated budgets, internal teams managing the process, and incentives to move quickly because it's tied to their marketing calendar. Government grants are a completely different animal. Those can take several months to almost a year from application to check, and sometimes longer because they have layers of review, compliance requirements, and bureaucracy built into the process. So know which one you're applying to before you factor it into your cash flow planning, and counting on a government grant to cover next month's payroll and opportunities is just not going to happen. And number 7, the biggest reason founders lose grants, it's no clear story, no clear ask. You're trying to explain everything and assume the grantor or reviewer will connect the dots, and then you end up sounding like everyone else. So remember, the grant reviewers are reading dozens, sometimes hundreds of applications. They're not digging for your point or doing their own research. So if it's not obvious in your application or sentences or video, you've already lost them. The applications that win are specific, direct, and easy to fit into a yes. 8 is that you can ask for feedback even after a rejection. Most just disappear after a no, and that's a super waste. You want to email them and ask what's missing, ask what could have been stronger, what would make a future application more compelling, or if they can connect you to someone. A lot of organizations won't have the bandwidth to respond, but a surprising number will tell you exactly what costs you the win. That's free intel that you can apply directly to the next one. Most people people are too embarrassed to ask or they've got their ego hurt. But for a short personal story, I once applied to an opportunity that I thought I had won, and I couldn't think of what I had done or what I could have done better. So I emailed them asking the judges for the rubric and feedback so I can learn. And 2 days later, I got a phone call. So we reviewed your scoring and talked to our sponsors, and we agreed that we're going to give both you and the other winner both $10,000 and first place. All because I asked for feedback. I got $10,000. Now, that might not happen every time, but I'm a living example of the impact of asking. And number 9, the most shocking, is you win one, you win 3 or more. This is always the one that shocks people because when you win your first grant, you're 50 times more likely to win again. And it's not luck, it's because the structure becomes familiar. Storytelling is sharper, you're more direct, you have proof that an organization trusted you with their money, and it has nothing to do with winning before, it has everything to do with how the process works. And once you have your story down, it is copy and paste. All that really changes is word and character count. So after winning 24 grants, I created a formula to help founders do this, and every single founder who wins does end up winning 4 or more. And that's not because of luck. Number 10 is think about it as an hourly rate. This is the reframe that might make you take grants more seriously. So if it takes you 1 hour to apply for a $5,000 grant, $5,000 might not move the full needle, but that $5,000 an hour, even if it takes 3 hours, is a pretty good ROI. So there's no equity given up, there's no debt and no repayment. Why not try? The key is being selective. So research before you apply. Apply for the ones where your story naturally aligns to what they're funding, and don't spray and pray. That's how you waste your time and get demoralized for rejections when you were never the right match anyways. Most founders building right now haven't even looked at grants seriously, and it's not because they don't qualify, but because nobody told them how they actually work. So if you're a founder who's under $1 million in annual recurring revenue, don't count grants out, no matter your industry. If you've still got questions about them, DM me on Instagram at @IamKatWeaver, and I'll see how I can help.